Hey everyone. Okay, so it's really funny. I've been sitting here for about 5 minutes going, I know I want to do a live stream. I'm not entirely sure what I want to talk about, but I know I want to do a live stream. And now I'm here going, I know exactly what the fuck I want to talk about. Okay, so it has come to my attention, for various different reasons, that there is an awful lot of what I would call boundary testing and resilience testing going on at the moment. Now, I was talking about this in a post I wrote yesterday, basically, where there's a lot of outer turmoil in the world. What tends to happen is that where we are not possibly looking after our boundaries in the way that we could, and I'm not talking about boundaries in a fearful way, I'm talking about boundaries in a self-loving manner. Okay, so loving yourself enough to know what things are distracting your focus from what you actually want to create, and loving yourself enough to say fuck no to that shit in whatever way is necessary. Okay, whether it means basically unfollowing people on social media who are constantly in your feed with stuff that distracts you from what you want to create, whether it's placing healthy energetic boundaries, again, something I was talking about yesterday, proper healthy energetic boundaries. And I'm not talking about the bubbler protection stuff, because as soon as you're coming from the position of needing protection from something, what happens is that fear energy, that fear that like you need to be protected in order to feel safe, is set in your energy. And then even with your bubble of protection, you actually attract in that which you are fearing, because it's like a fucking magnet for it. Okay, so it's always from the position not of drama triangle, not of victim, not of perpetrator, not of savior, any of that bullshit. It's always got to be from the point of view of, I am sovereign in my energy. I wish to be sovereign in my energy. The reason why I want to be sovereign in my energy is because there's something I want to create that's specific to me, that I see inside of me as being like what I'm here to do, part of what I'm here to do, part of what I'm here to experience. And this stuff, whatever it is all very well and good, but it is distracting me from creating this thing. Might be a business, it might be a painting, it might be a piece of music, it might be a book, it could be anything, okay? It could be that you want to, I don't know, maybe you're a caterer, maybe you want to fucking bake a load of cakes and you're like wasting time getting into arguments with people on Facebook about whatever the fuck, you know. Quite a common thing nowadays because everyone seems quite enervated about stuff. It's you loving yourself enough to say no to that, like that distraction stuff, and go, I'm not available for that. I'm not actually available for that right now, because actually what I am available for is this thing that I'm creating, which is actually not only going to be of benefit to me, but it's going to be of benefit to everybody that comes into contact with it once I've created it, and during the creation process. And this other stuff that I'm distracting myself with is a waste of my fucking time and energy, basically. Hey, Jamie. Yeah. And these energetic boundaries, both energetic boundaries and the whole kind of like saying no to the bullshit distractions that are going on in social media, in the media, in the world in general, that you'll get people bitching, whining and moaning when they see you literally withdrawing your energy from giving that shit attention sometimes. That's just your own internal stuff basically showing itself to you on the outside, where you're questioning whether you should be cutting yourself off. It's like, oh, but surely with unity consciousness, I should be worried about everyone else's problems all of the fucking time. No. Worst thing that you can do, basically. The one thing that helps people to create is to focus. Okay, when your focus is distracted willy-nilly and your energy is scattered here, there and every fucking where by all of the stuff that's going on all over the world outside of you, and all of the situations that you can't actually directly do anything about, what you're doing is you're diffusing your energy, and then you're not creating what you've come here to create. And then you end up wondering why you're not moving forwards, why you're getting stuck, basically, why you're spending your time feeling anxious and about everything that's going on in the world. And in actual fact, all it takes to really take yourself out of anxiety and into what I'm going to call kind of channeling your energy, you can channel your nervous energy and all of that kind of like the creative friction, as it were, into productivity that actually ends up benefiting you. You can channel anger, you can channel sexual energy, you can channel, like, it's all part of the same life force, it's just got different flavors to it. But actually putting it into some kind of creative output is far more useful to you than getting stuck in keyboard warrior arguments on Facebook with people about stuff. Now, it might not apply to any of you guys here in this group, but I do think it's something that's like really important to note at the moment, because it does seem like everywhere you look, someone is wanting to have some kind of an argument about something. I know certainly amongst my friends list, there's some people I hold very dear to me who seem to be posting every other day about some kind of run-in they've had with someone online, and they're kind of allowing themselves to get distracted from the task at hand, which is, you know, the bottom line of all of this is you are here to be a creator, so fucking get on with creating in whatever format. I have been through the whole allowing myself to be distracted by all of the things about everything, especially with all this COVID stuff. Everyone's got an opinion on whether you should get vaccinated or not, what's really going on, like what the agendas are, Bottom line of all of this stuff is that if you're spending your entire day worrying about like whether you should wear a mask or not, and what vaccines mean and all of this other stuff, that's energy you're not spending on actually creating things that could not only uplift you, but uplift other people around you, things that you can actually make money creating. Like people going on about how money's an issue at the moment because jobs lost and so on and so forth. So I'm going to put a different spin on this. The bottom line of all of this stuff, whether we like it or not on this planet, at this time and moving forward, we are becoming much more automated as a society. You see it in supermarkets with automated tills. Japan's a really massively automated society. I was reading an article about this earlier this morning, I think it was, basically talking about the electricity needs of Japan and the fact everything's in vending machines and all of this other stuff, and like the automation that's taking place. Simple fact of the matter is that the actual manual job market is changing. Like the landscape is changing really, really massively. It's not what it used to be at all. You can bitch, whine and moan all that you like about the fact that it was better in the old days or whatever. But the simple fact is that it's changed, it's changing, it continues to change, it continues to evolve, and bitching, whining, moaning about it used to be better back in the 1950s or whatever when there was job security isn't going to get you anywhere. This is the time now where I will say, if you haven't already launched your own business or your own creative endeavors, it's time to seriously look at it. You create your own fucking work. You create your own money. If you are stuck relying on other people to pay you for a task, basically, you're not owning your power as a creator. Yes, some people might feel like it's more stable to do things that way, but the fact is that the majority of people that I meet or that I talk to, when you delve down into it, everyone's got their own genius powers that they've brought in that they may or may not be using. When you utilize your genius powers properly, and everyone's got their own individual ones, and when you understand what your message is and what you're here to kind of inspire others with your work to do or enrich their lives or whatever, you have the basis to set up a fucking business of your own and to create products, whether they're digital or physical or it's a service you're offering, it doesn't matter what it is, that you can offer and charge money for, okay? And so this idea that we have to rely on the job market for money, when in actual fact we are always the captains of our own ship when it comes down to it, is a bit of a nonsense. Sorry to say it. Lots of people probably won't like hearing this, but the simple fact of the matter is every single person I meet, when I start like delving into like having conversations with people, and I think it's one of these things, I tend to do it on autopilot with new people that I meet because of the fact that I've spent the past few years effectively kind of coaching / mentoring people, working with people in group situations, working with people one-to-one. And actually, I'm always really interested in what's going on with people and actually what their skills are and all the rest of it. And not only their skills, but their passions and actually what their energetic makeup is too. And I will say right now, I've not met one person, I don't think, over the past few years, regardless of what their actual employment situation is, who isn't actually capable of setting up their own business as a sole trader or maybe something bigger and running it and being successful. It's just that they get so stuck in the kind of the system as it has been that they can't see past that, and it just requires almost a bit of a verbal arse kicking. I have given a few people that over the years when it's necessary, never in a nasty way, but it's always just like, why are you so reliant on other people having to employ you when in actual fact you've got the skill set and the ability and the motivation and like the creativity and all the rest of it to actually create something, some kind of role for yourself in your own business, doing whatever the fuck lights you up actually, and actually make money out of it. So you could say like, welcome to today's arse kicking and be the cake. The reason why I'm saying all of this, I've been kicking my own arse a little bit. I suddenly realised I was sat here on this sofa this morning. Obviously, like I was saying in the post I put up yesterday that I'm writing the Radical Surrender course. I'm also in the process of writing a book. I'm also in the process of writing a course called Take the Stage, which is specifically for creatives, okay? People who have issues with visibility or for showing up for themselves and get nervous about it. Like whether it's you get nervous about it, whether it's that when you show up, no one shows up to see what you're doing because of the fact that you've got energetic cloaking going on or whatever. So I'm working on that too. I've also got a new podcast I'm starting with Sabrina called In Vino Veritas, which you guys will be seeing the first episode of probably sometime next week. So I've got to, basically, there's all of that to organise. I've also got a whole bunch of ideas of other stuff to get on with. And in actual fact, when I look at it, there's never a moment in my day where I need to be bored about fucking anything. I've always got plenty I can get on with. I don't necessarily work myself to the bone doing these things, and I do choose for the most part nowadays to actually, with the work stuff I'm doing with Dynamic Intention, to do it through my Quantum Creation group, because that's where I love the group dynamic actually when it comes to working with a group of paying clients and actually working with them, delivering my work and actually helping them work through it and actually look at their stuff. There's a lot of power in group dynamics in terms of the support that's available, in terms of the ideas that get sparked, the creativity and all the rest of it. It's like any other kind of group that you can think of where you sit around kind of, I don't know, any of you watching this, anytime you've been to a workshop at any point where you're with the right mix of people, it can be a really powerful thing to spark new ideas, new creations, so on and so forth. Something I would actually like to do in person here in Hove at some point where we don't have all of this COVID stuff basically making everything really fucking awkward, long-winded, difficult to organise, so on and so forth. But basically what I was going to say is, like, when you find yourself kind of stuck in the scroll on Facebook and stuck in kind of like looking at stuff that you're not actually interested in, and I'm not by any means suggesting that you shouldn't get on Facebook, because of course you want to come and listen to me talking about shit and things that you are actually interested in. There's a lot of amazing shit on social media. It's just learning how to filter it and actually curate your feed so that you're not giving your time and attention to pointless bullshit that's just distracting you from what you want to do. What you want to be doing is curating your feed so that the stuff that shows up in it is inspiring you, is kicking your ass to actually do the things you want to do rather than making you feel depressed about the state of the world. And yes, we all love a good cause and so on and so forth, and we like to get involved in like all the tragedy that's happening out there. But in actual fact, we are not really going to shift the vibration of this planet and the circumstances that we see going on if we're so mired in how awful it all is that we cease to actually create something better. You know, first rule of anything, what you resist persists. In actual fact, if you want to create a new future for yourself, for your children, for your loved ones, for the planet as a whole, you need to focus on what we're creating next and actually building towards that rather than sitting around going on about all of the things that are wrong right now. Use the things that are wrong right now to spur you on to think of what we could have instead. What would be better? What, you know, how could it get better than this? That's always a really good question to ask yourself. Like, how can it get better than this? How can it get even better than this? Like, what is it that my soul wants me to know now or wants me to do now that will help to contribute to an evolution in consciousness on this planet? That's a really good one to ask yourself. And you can journal on these questions too. Okay, and when you journal, free write. I might come back and do a live stream about free writing when you're journaling. It's really, really powerful. You will bring through stuff that you hadn't understood that you wanted to do, that actually your soul's probably been kind of quietly kicking you about for however long, you know, with you kind of wandering around going la la la, match of the day or whatever, you know, whatever the distraction happens to be. So I'm leaving you with all of this. I was actually looking at, I was getting a nudge yesterday to put something on offer in my shop, but I can't even remember what the fuck it was now. I will probably be putting some kind of an offer up in the next couple of days in there for those of you who would like a little bit of energetic assistance, who might be feeling a little bit pinched right now for whatever reason. I kind of generally tend to check in if I'm getting nudges about putting something on sale, or check in to see what are the things that are actually tackling the subjects that are kind of front and center for people. I listen to my intuition on this stuff. And I will come back and do a thing on journaling in amongst all of the other things I'm doing. But yeah, I just wanted to come and drop all of that lot on you to ponder, because it's important. Okay. Mwah. Lots of love. Bye for now.